Flash is a 2D drawing application, which means you have the x-axis, which is on the ground, and your y-axis, which is up and down. There is no z-axis, which is near to far, like in a 3D application such as Maya or Lightwave. So what we can do is fake 3D by drawing it with a couple of tricks. What I'm going to do is, with a rectangle, I'm going to make sure I have a gray fill and no stroke. I'm going to draw out the front of my building. Now I'm going to go into get my line tool here, and I'm going to use a stroke that is gray, and I'm going to have no fill. So we'll go ahead and just get rid of that. Use the same color as the actual stroke here. I'm going to draw out my stroke here. Let me go ahead and reduce the size of this stroke. Let's see here. That's about right. And I'll draw another line, like so. And holding down the Shift key on the keyboard, I'm going to cross over these lines or dissect them. And I'm going to do the same thing in this direction. It doesn't matter if you extend past the point where you wish to draw, because we're going to go ahead and use these as a guide only and then fill them in. So now at the base of the building, I'm going to use this guide to draw the side of the building. Now, these lines, as long as they actually touch the fill in some way, will close this shape. And you can only fill a closed shape in this manner. So what I'm going to do is grab my paint bucket tool, and as you see here, I have this option, gap size. I can close any small gap, so even if I did miss just a little tiny bit, it will still fill this. I can also choose to close large gaps, medium gaps, or don't close any gaps at all. And this is a very good tool, because if you aren't too precise and you forgot to close everything and everything's not touching, you can still close that shape with the color. So I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool and choose a lighter fill for the top of the roof here. I'm going to have no stroke. And I'm going to choose a darker fill for the side of the building. Now, using the selection tool, I can delete these chunks by clicking on them once like this and get rid of all, oops, I just missed that a little bit. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Get rid of these little extra lines. And now you have a 3D building. Now what you can do is you can continue to draw if you wish and create your windows. So I'm going to go ahead and get a windowish color and just draw out a couple of rectangles like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, let me just go ahead and draw another one here. And I'm going to use the auto tool here. As you see this, it will auto align. If you just move it, it will try to figure out what you're trying to align to. You'll notice here that when I move it, Flash will say, okay, here's a line. Should I match that? Or should I match the top of this one? And it's a really cool tool to help you align things. So I'm going to delete this actually. I just wanted to show you that tool. And what I'm going to do is duplicate this very quickly. And you do that by holding down Shift and Option or Alt and clicking and moving your mouse like this. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, Alt on Windows, Option on a Mac, and drag over like this. And I just missed it. I moved the mouse by mistake. So I'm going to undo that, Command Z or Control Z, and I'm going to create another window. And sometimes it's really hard because you have this alignment here that Flash is trying to match. So I'm going to move these down a little bit and do the same thing. Okay, now we have some windows. I'll press Q on the keyboard, and that will allow me to free transform them. Let's group them now by pressing Command or Control G for group. And let's move these windows into position. And now what we can do is, now that these windows are here, we can once again Shift Option Alt, and we can make some more windows. And auto align them like that. So you can keep going, and slowly but surely you'll have the building completed. You can use this technique to add the top of the building and any other buildings in your scene as well.